Sometimes an idea is just so important, it feels like it has to be said out loud. And looking at the world around us, it's pretty clear a lot of us are feeling this. So today, we're going to talk about the constant noise of modern life, but more importantly, how we can actually choose our response to it, how we can consciously move from outrage to peace.
So let's just dive right in with this question, because it really gets to the heart of it all. When did we all decide to just wake up angry? It's a simple question, but man, it hits home, doesn't it? It's like somewhere along the way, bitterness became a personality trait, and just being mad became the default setting for so many of our conversations.
And that's really the core problem here. We're not just talking about being angry over things that genuinely matter. We're talking about an addiction to the feeling of outrage itself. It's this constant, unrelenting flood of bitterness and complaining that just seems to be coming from everywhere all the time, from our social media feeds to the 24/7 news cycle.
And let's be really clear about what the noise actually is. This isn't about righteous anger against some true injustice. No, this is about rage for the sake of rage. It's about manufacturing offense where none was ever intended, launching these crusades from behind a keyboard, and dressing up personal vendettas like there's some kind of moral high ground. And you know what? It's just exhausting.
So to really get a handle on this, let's try shifting our perspective for a minute. Let's look at the people who have every single right to be angry, those who have truly earned their pain through real trauma, and see what they can teach us. The lessons are, well, they're profound.
The contrast here is just stark. On one side, you've got this performative anger, screaming at service workers, the endless need to be right online. And on the other side, you see the quiet, difficult, and profound work of what we can call earned resilience. These are people who have been through hell, and yet they are choosing to heal. They're trying to be kind. They are daring to soften in a world that did everything it could to make them hard.
And this right here, this is the crucial point. It is a choice. For those who have really suffered, the easy path would be bitterness, maybe even cruelty. But the hard path, the one that so many of them inspiringly choose, is to not let that trauma extinguish their capacity for kindness. It's an absolutely powerful testament to human strength.
Okay, so this brings us to our next big idea. And this is where the focus shifts from what's happening out there to what's going on in here. Because this isn't just about watching what society does, it's about personal accountability. It's about the energetic footprint that each and every one of us leaves on the world.
This is just a fundamental truth, and it's one we all have to sit with for a second. The energy you project, whether it's quick to snap and to blame, or whether it's calm and constructive, that is your responsibility. It's the footprint you leave on every single interaction you have, every single day.
So this is the question we really have to ask ourselves. We live in a world that so often rewards the loudest voice in the room. But have I mistaken my own loudness for genuine impact? Or am I just adding to the noise, confusing my volume with actual value?
All right, so let's dig into the psychology behind all this. Because if we really want to change this behavior in ourselves and in the world, we have to understand where it's coming from. What is all this anger really about?
Anger often feels really powerful. But what if it's just a disguise? This perspective reframes it perfectly as fear in a louder costume. It's a primal response, really. It's the fear of being overlooked, of being insignificant, of being powerless. The anger is just the fight part of fight or flight, a loud and often destructive attempt to prove to the world, and maybe just to ourselves, that we actually matter.
And this is so important to acknowledge. That underlying fear, it's real, it's valid. We all have this deep need to be heard and seen. But, and this is the absolute key, that fear doesn't get to be in the driver's seat. You're in control. You get to choose how you respond to it.
So what's the alternative? How do we actually push back against this relentless culture of outrage? Well, the answer isn't to fight fire with more fire. The answer is something much quieter, and in today's world, something much more radical.
And this is what that quiet revolution looks like in practice. It's not some grand, dramatic gesture. It's a series of small, conscious acts. It's holding a door open for someone. It's making the decision to really listen instead of just waiting for your turn to talk. It's stepping off your soapbox to just connect with another person. And it's choosing peace, especially when you're tired and it's the hardest thing in the world to do.
This is such a powerful way to think about it. In a world that seems to demand that we all shout to be heard, maybe the most rebellious, the most truly impactful thing you can do is to just choose not to refuse to take the bait, to exist with a quiet kindness in a world that is absolutely starving for it.
Ultimately, It all boils down to this. It's a simple, direct call to action. It's a choice we have to make not just once, but over and over again, in countless small moments. Choose better. Choose peace. And hey, if the idea of choosing peace somehow offends someone, well, maybe that's their cue to start their own moment of self-reflection.
The powerful ideas that we've been exploring here are rooted in insights from the YogaNurse model of care, especially as they look ahead to 2026. It's a perspective that's really grounded in healing, in resilience, and in conscious choice. If any of this resonated with you, I really encourage you to explore it further at yoganurse.com. Thanks for joining me for this.